If you're considering Squarespace, you may not have considered these things, which are caveats that you need to know about using Squarespace. So in this video, I'm going to cover 5 things that you need to know before using Squarespace to help you make the best decision. And if you do use Squarespace, to help you get up to speed. So getting straight into it, the first thing that I'm going to discuss is Squarespace's support. Now, I have spoken to some people who have complained about Squarespace's support in the past. However, I think that their support is incredible, but I just want to give you, for me, what I've found the most effective way in order to get any of your support queries answered. If you just type in Squarespace support, you're going to come to this web page here where you're going to be able to submit a request. Here you can choose the type of request. So let's just say email campaigns. From there, it's then going to ask you to tell more and you can select a topic. From there, I'm just going to select deliverability. Now, what I recommend you do in order to maximize your chances of getting an answer as soon as possible is using the live chat. Now, it isn't available right now, but I found that the live chat using Squarespace has been very, very quick. Email may not be the most effective way from what I've heard. I've always gone through live chat, and I think that's something really important to know, because if you're going to use a platform, you need to make sure that you can access support as effectively as possible. Now, one other thing that you can use, if you actually go to the bottom of this web page and click on forum, that's where you're going to be able to access a Squarespace forum. So if you don't want to go through the official support and you want to learn from experts who are freely sharing advice and answering questions, you can go to the Squarespace forum. You can search the community or post something in any of the topics here. I found this to be extremely effective and sometimes even better than the official support. Moving on to the second thing that you need to know about using Squarespace. Now, one of the things that Squarespace is really well known for is its templates. So for example, here, if you're starting your website, let's say you're a photographer, you can click on here, go to next, you can select the sort of things that you want to do with your website. So let's say we want to get appointments and sell services. From there, we can select next. And I'm not going to be talking about templates here because loads of other videos mention that. I'm going to speak about something new that Squarespace has integrated into its website, is only getting better and better in the future. And that is Squarespace's design intelligence. Before you could browse from, I think there's around 100 templates that you could use. But something that Squarespace is getting really good at is allowing you to build websites with AI. And here you can see it's Squarespace's Blueprint AI. It's also called Design Intelligence, I think. And here you're going to be able to select Build with AI, create a website. And from here, you can create a website using AI. So from here, you can press create and you can see it's going to set things up and it's automatically going to allow you to add your site info. We're just going to go through and next. It's then going to load AI generated content into your homepage. I can just select here, build your homepage. I want an intro section, services, appointments, and about, a form, and then also a footer. And as you can see, Squarespace is just going ahead and building a website literally from scratch. It's also then going to say add pages. I want to have services and appointments. And again, this is recommended based upon the things that you've just answered through the Blueprint AI. Then we're going to go next. We can pick the colors. Now, I'm not a designer, so I don't really know the best color to pick here. I think this looks a little bit jazzy, so we're going to go for that. Select a font, we're just going to go through the recommended and then press finish. And as you can see here, Squarespace is going to build the site using AI, which I think is a fantastic thing to know before using Squarespace, because it's going to save time if you're considering using Designer, save money as well. And as you can see, it's built a pretty good looking web page with all the different pages that I might need. Now, of course, I am going to need to do customization from this after here, but as you can see, it speeds up that process so quickly. And just going over to an existing website, what it also does, this is my site, SEO Space. If we go to view layouts, when we're actually on the Squarespace editor, it also uses AI to suggest layouts for your web page. Now you can see these aren't necessarily great. Squarespace's AI is getting better and better, but that's something that I think is crucial to know because it may help you pick Squarespace over other website builders and competitors which aren't as fast at getting your website off the ground. Then heading over to the third thing that I think you should need to know, and this is to do with SEO and performance. This is specifically around page speed. Now, if you read different things on the internet, you might see Squarespace get bashed for having bad page loading speed and bad SEO. For example, here, this is my site, SEO Space. I put it through a page speed insights test, and as you can see, it's got a score of 25 out of 100, which, let's be honest, looks pretty bad. If it also then go over to GT metrics, you can see that I've got a score of E. That is because I've got some custom code on the website, but as you can see, sort of out the box, Squarespace doesn't load as fast. And it may sort of convince you if you look through other reviews that you shouldn't choose Squarespace. Which leads on to the third thing that I want you to know, and that is really what matters when it comes to SEO. When you read all this information on the internet, you may decide to choose platforms like WordPress, Webflow, Wix, maybe even Framer that have better SEO. But I actually just want to put that to bed because when you actually look at this graph, which shows you the most important Google ranking factors when it comes to what Google cares about when ranking you up on Google, you can see here that the website builder and the website platform that you use is not a ranking factor. Google does not care which website builder you use. It cares how you use the website builder to follow SEO best practices. And in fact, you'll see that page speed only accounts for 3% of what matters when it comes to ranking on Google. So before you use Squarespace, and if you are looking at other sources around what you should choose when it comes to building your website, you may see this, but I just want you to know before you use Squarespace, it doesn't really matter that much. And because Squarespace is so easy to use, what really matters is the website builder and the platform that you prefer using in order to do these things that really matter when it comes to SEO. And trust me, I built the SEO plugin for Squarespace. I've helped over 10,000 Squarespace websites rank higher on Google, so I know a little bit when it comes to helping your site rank higher. Now moving on to the fourth thing that I want you to know about Squarespace before you use it, and that is plugins. If you use platforms like Webflow, Wix, WordPress, Framer in the past, you'll know that they allow you to use apps and plugins, and they've got pretty extensive marketplaces which allow you to customize your site and really push the boundaries with what is possible. Now, Squarespace doesn't allow for plugins per se, but if you head over to third-party tools within the settings and you go to extensions, Squarespace does allow extensions in order to improve the functionality of your website. A lot of these are around commerce, so if you do have an e-commerce site, this really could be something worth considering. And again, I know this personally because SEO Space is one of the around 40 extensions that is listing here. So Squarespace doesn't have plugins per se, but it does have extensions that allow you to push the functionality. And there is also an unofficial list of different Squarespace plugins which aren't on the Squarespace extension marketplace, but there's fantastic tools out there like Squarekicker, Spark, tools from Will Myers, and also a ton of different options again to try and push the limits of what really you can achieve with Squarespace. Now moving on to the fifth thing that I want you to know before using Squarespace. Squarespace is a website builder. And how I like to describe that is it's sort of like a house that already has the walls and floors put in. So it's not as flexible to customize the house to really how you want it to be. However, it has a lot of things built in to allow you to get your site off the ground. That does mean in some points it's not as customizable, but for 95% of people that don't need it to be as customizable and just want speed to get it off the ground, that's really where Squarespace comes into its own. And just to give you an example of what that really means in practice, if I come here and I want to add a new page to my website, you can see that it's got a ton of different page layouts that I can use to make building my site even faster. If I go back, it's also got built-in ability to add a blog, which again is super important for SEO. Add a store in so you can start selling products and services online immediately, a portfolio, events, videos, even courses. So you can sell a course using your Squarespace site. Member site, drop down, and then also links. So Squarespace out the box has got a ton of different things that are going to make it easier. And that is the fifth thing that I want you to know, because ultimately when you're building a business, you've got 1,000,001 things on your plate. You don't want your website to be slowing you down. And that's why for me, I recommend that you use Squarespace. So there you are, guys. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to SEO Space's YouTube channel if you do use Squarespace. We share Squarespace and Squarespace SEO tips to help you get found on Google. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.